Welcome to The Deep Dive, the show that takes complex technology decisions, stacks all the source material, and really delivers the essential knowledge you need to move forward.
Yeah.
Today, we are wrestling with a quintessential modern photography dilemma. It's a battle of siblings, really, from the Canon R system. We're pitting the advanced, yet radically affordable Canon EOS R8 against the undisputed professional workhorse, the Canon EOS R6 Mark II.
And if you're looking at upgrading to full-frame mirrorless, you know these two names. They're everywhere right now.
And for good reason.
Yeah.
They were released within, 3 months of each other?
Yeah.
Right at the turn of 2022 into 2023. And they share the absolute most fundamental piece of imaging technology in the Canon line right now.
That's right. An identical cutting-edge 24-megapixel full-frame CMOS sensor. That's the brain.
It's the foundation, the very engine producing the same inherent image quality in both of these machines.
It is.
But here's the tension, and this is really the core question we are unpacking for you today. The Canon R8 has an MSRP of around $1,099.
Oh.
The R6 Mark II comes in at $2,499.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking about a massive a $1,400 price difference.
It's huge.
So if the pictures look fundamentally the same, why on earth is one nearly 2.5 times more expensive? We need to figure out what Canon compromises away to build the R8 and whether those compromises actually matter to your workflow. Okay, let's unpack this feature by feature.
That price gap is definitely not arbitrary. I mean, it represents a really clear philosophical split in Canon's strategy. They positioned these cameras incredibly intentionally.
How so?
Well, the R8 is what they call their advanced mirrorless approach. Its entire mission is to be the gateway, to make full-frame, accessible, compact, lightweight.
So it's about bringing people into the system.
Exactly. It's about prioritizing that core image quality and portability above everything else. The R6 Mark II, on the other hand, well, it's firmly rooted in the pro mirrorless category.
Workhorse.
It's a true workhorse. It's designed for working professionals, serious enthusiasts, people who require not just high capability, but crucially, maximum reliability and durability.
People shooting for clients.
People shooting for clients who literally cannot tolerate operational compromises. Failure is not an option.
And before we get into all those differences, let's just underscore that critical shared ground one more time, because it's the entire reason this comparison is so compelling.
Absolutely. It's the key. They both use the latest generation 24-megapixel full-frame CMOS sensor. That's the standard 36 by 24 millimeters.
Right.
They also share the exact same native ISO range. It stretches from 100 all the way to 102,400.
Which is incredible.
And it's expandable out to, crazy 50 to 204S800. So what this means for you is that if you take two photos under identical controlled conditions, the pure sensor performance.
The dynamic range, the noise.
Exactly. The noise handling and dim light, the final resolution, it's all fundamentally equivalent. The $1,400 difference isn't about better pixels. It's about what surrounds those pixels and how reliably you can capture them.
That sets the stage perfectly. So we've established the brain's identical. Now we transition to the body. Section 1 is all about the physical experience, the chassis, the interfaces. This is where the R8 immediately starts earning back some points.
It does. It sacrifices bulk and weight. The R8 is really a masterclass in making a full-frame camera feel like an entry-level crop sensor body. It's an absolute champion of portability for its class.
What are we talking weight-wise?
It weighs in at just 461 grams. That's about 16.26 ounces.
Okay, so that's light.
To put that in perspective, that actually sits below the average weight of a generic mirrorless body across the whole market, which is truly impressive given the size of the sensor inside.
And that lean design stands in stark contrast to the R6 Mark II.
It really does. The R6 Mark II clocks in significantly heavier at 680 grams.
So almost 1.5 pounds.
Nearly 1.5 pounds, 24 ounces. And the dimensions reflect that too. The R8 is noticeably slimmer, shorter. It's 133 by 86 by 70 millimeters. The R6 Mark II is just bulkier all around. It's designed for professional handling.
And here's where it gets really interesting. That 219-gram weight difference, just shy of 0.5 pound. I mean, that's negligible if you hold it for 5 minutes in a store.
Right.
But it is deeply substantial when you are carrying it around your neck all day long.
Oh, you feel it.
For the dedicated street photographer, for someone traveling for weeks, or for a hiker covering high mileage, that weight saving is a massive, massive win. The R8 prioritizes discretion and physical comfort.
And this is a big but that smaller size comes with necessary ergonomic consequences.
The grip.
The grip, exactly. The R6 Mark II's added bulk provides a deeper, more substantial grip and a larger, more stable platform. This is a huge advantage for comfort during incredibly long shooting sessions, like an 8-hour wedding.
And for bigger lenses, I assume.
More importantly, yes, it provides superior balance when you attach those larger, heavier telephoto or L-series zoom lenses.
That's a huge practical consideration. If you pair an R8 with a heavy, say an RF70 200mm f2.8, the camera's going to feel severely front-heavy. Your wrist is just constantly fighting it.
Precisely. The R6 Mark II handles that weight distribution much, much better. It makes the whole system feel more integrated and manageable when you pair it with professional glass.
Okay, what about the build itself? Our sources confirm both cameras have general weather sealing against dust and moisture. That's pretty standard for the R series, right?
It is, yeah. So you can shoot confidently in light rain or dusty environments with either camera.
But there's a key difference for pros.
There is. The R6 Mark II highlights its professional advantage in a way many enthusiasts might overlook: the anti-dust shutter mechanism.
Okay, explain that.
This is a small but absolutely crucial professional feature. When you take a lens off the R6 Mark II, the mechanical shutter automatically closes. It physically covers the sensor, protecting it from airborne particles, especially dust.
And why is that such a big deal for a working pro?
Well, imagine you're a sports photographer on a windy, dry field, or you're changing lenses outdoors at a wedding near a dusty path. Every single time you swap glass, you expose that sensitive, sticky sensor surface.
And you're going to get dust spots.
You're going to get dust spots that require tedious, expensive cleanup and post-processing, or even worse, an emergency sensor cleaning appointment. The R8 lacks this protection entirely. The sensor is fully exposed every time you swap lenses. For heavy lens changers, this is a real operational liability.
That's a perfect example of a feature that doesn't impact image quality, but absolutely impacts workflow reliability.
100%.
Okay, let's move to the display systems. This is an area of shared strength in terms of flexibility, but a massive divergence in fidelity. Both cameras share identical 3.0-inch 1.62 million dot resolution LCD screens.
And critically, they are both fully articulating.
Right, they flip out.
The articulation is fantastic. It makes both of them excellent for low-angle macro work, shooting overhead in a crowd, and of course for vlogging and self-monitoring. They also both offer full touch functionality, which really streamlines menu navigation and focus selection.
But the big physical difference, the one that really affects your compositional certainty, that lies in the electronic viewfinder, the EVF.
Yes. The R6 Mark II has a significantly superior EVF. It's boasting 3.69 million dots of resolution.
And the R8?
The R8 has a 2.36 million dot EVF. That 3.69 million dots on the R6 Mark II is a 56% jump in resolution.
And for the serious photographer, that matters.
It matters tremendously, especially if you rely heavily on manual focus or you shoot in extremely bright or dark conditions. The R6 Mark II delivers a view that is far closer to an optical viewfinder experience. It's just sharper, more detailed, and less prone to that subtle pixelation or screen door effect you sometimes get.
So if I'm trying to nail focus, using focus peaking in a really low light scene, or if I'm checking the corners of my frame in bright, high contrast sunlight, the R6 Mark II EVF is just giving me much more confidence.
Precisely. It reduces eye strain over a full day of shooting, and it gives you higher fidelity feedback. That's particularly important for checking things like moire or chromatic aberration right there in the viewfinder before you even take the shot. It's an investment in comfort and precision.
Okay, we've covered the body, size, build, and viewfinders. Now we get to the stuff that truly determines whether you can capture professional-grade action or low-light work consistently. Section 2 is the performance divide. This is where the bulk of that $1,400 price gap is undeniably located. We're talking speed, stabilization, and focus tracking.
And we absolutely must start with image stabilization because this is the decisive advantage. It's the most talked about technical divergence for the R6 Mark II.
The IBIS.
The IBIS. The R6 Mark II incorporates 8.0 stop sensor shift image stabilization. It's built right into the body.
8 stops. That number sounds incredible. But for our listener, what does an 8.0 stop CP rating actually mean in practice?
Well, CP is the industry standard for measuring this. And 8.0 stops of compensation means the camera's sensor can physically move to counteract shake up to 8 times more effectively than an unstabilized camera.
And the key is that it's in the body.
Exactly. Practically, it means that Every single lens you attach to the R6 Mark II benefits from stabilization.
So if I needed a shutter speed of, say, 1250th of a second to get a sharp handheld shot.
With 8 stops, theoretically, you could get a perfectly sharp image at a full 1-second exposure.
A full second, handheld.
That's 256 times longer light gathering time. You can shoot handheld at dramatically lower shutter speeds in dim light, keeping your ISO aggressively low and your image quality pristine. Think about shooting inside a dimly lit cathedral or a late-night music venue without a tripod. It's a game changer.
And the R8, to be clear, has absolutely zero in-body stabilization. It relies solely on the lens.
That's correct. With the R8, you have to rely entirely on the optical image stabilization built into the IS lenses.
So you're limited.
You are. While Canon offers 37 excellent stabilized RF lenses, this severely limits your creative choices, particularly if you're interested in those smaller, faster, or specialized prime lenses, many of which lack built-in stabilization, like the legendary RF 50mm f1.2L.
So what happens then?
For low-light handheld shooting, the R8 user is just forced to raise the ISO much, much sooner, introducing noise into that identical 24-megapixel sensor that the R6 Mark II user would completely avoid.
I have to push back a little here, though. For that minimalist or travel photographer, is the trade-off worth it? Is sacrificing that 219 grams really worth giving up 8 stops of stabilization? Couldn't you just buy stabilized lenses?
That's the core compromise Canon forces you to make, and it's a tough one. For travel, if you are shooting primarily static subjects in good light, you might never miss IBIS. But the moment you step inside an indoor market, a poorly lit museum, or you try to shoot any handheld video, you realize the functional cost of that weight saving.
And stabilized lenses are often bigger and more expensive.
Exactly, that's the hidden cost. So, saving $1,400 on the body might force you to spend an extra $300 to $500 on every single lens you buy, which reduces the overall financial savings and could potentially make your whole system heavier anyway.
That is a crucial point. It forces the R8 user to make lens choices based on stabilization rather than just optical quality, and that really skews the long-term investment cost.
It does.
Okay, let's shift to continuous shooting and shutter performance. The metrics for capturing action. If we start with the electronic shutter, they actually match perfectly.
They do. An impressive 40.0 frames per second continuous shooting. It provides exceptional capability for silent action.
And they both have that pre-shooting buffer feature, which is brilliant.
It's a literal time machine. It lets you capture frames before you fully press the shutter, so you never miss that peak moment like a splash or a high five.
However, the mechanical shutter is where the performance gap opens up again.
It is. The R6 Mark II delivers 12.0 frames per second with the mechanical shutter. That is exactly double the R8's 6.0 FPS rate.
Now, why do you still need a mechanical shutter when you have 40 fps electronic available?
Reliability and image fidelity. That 40 fps electronic shutter is fantastic, but it carries the risk of rolling shutter artifacts.
The jello effect.
The jello effect, exactly. Because the sensor is read line by line instead of all at once, extremely fast horizontal movement. Think a golf swing, a baseball bat, a spinning propeller can appear warped or bent. The 12 fps mechanical shutter on the R6 Mark II eliminates this risk entirely. It offers sustained artifact-free bursts for professional action.
So 6 fps on the R8 is okay for an enthusiast.
It's decent, but 12 fps provides a much, much higher chance of nailing the decisive moment in unpredictable action.
And the max shutter speed is another critical difference. The R6 Mark II hits 18,000th of a second,
while the R8 tops out at 14,000th.
So why does that extra stop of speed matter?
It's crucial when you're shooting with wide-open apertures, especially those super-fast lenses like the RF 50mm f1.2 or 85mm f1.2 in very bright sunlight.
Oh, okay.
If you want that ultra-shallow depth of field on a sunny beach day, you're gathering so much light that 14,000s may simply not be fast enough to prevent overexposure, even at the lowest ISO.
So the R8 would force you to stop down your aperture?
Or rely entirely on neutral density filters, which is another thing to carry and manage. The R6 Mark II just gives you that extra stop of speed, letting you maximize your best glass without any external filters.
Now for autofocus, this is an area where both benefit from Canon's latest AI algorithms. Face detection, eye tracking, subject recognition for animals and vehicles.
Yeah.
That's all shared. The intelligence is the same.
It is, but what's fascinating here is how much data that intelligence has to work with. The R6 Mark II features a massive 4,897 selectable focus points across the frame.
4,000.
Wow. And the R8?
The R8 utilizes only 1,053 points.
That's an astronomical difference, nearly 4 times the focus point density. How does that translate to the real world? More focus points translate directly into 2 things: better coverage across the frame and better subject tracking prediction.
Okay.
The R6 Mark II system is dense enough to track tiny subjects, like a bird's eye, even if the bird only occupies a small portion of the frame and is moving erratically. The system gathers continuous data from thousands of surrounding points, helping the AI predict exactly where that subject will be in the next fraction of a second.
Whereas the R8?
The R8's 1,053 points are excellent for static or predictable subjects, but for demanding, unpredictable action scenarios like professional sports or complex wildlife movements, the R6 Mark II just offers vastly superior precision and coverage assurance.
It sounds like the R6 Mark II has the hardware necessary to let its advanced tracking system really succeed in high-stakes situations. The R8 system is smart, but it's limited by its physical sensor hardware.
That's a perfect way to put it. The performance specs alone justify a huge chunk of the price gap, but that's only half the story. Performance is about capturing the peak moment. The next section is about making sure you capture the moment at all.
Right. Section 3 is about professional reliability. These are the features that make the R6 Mark II a necessary business tool. We're talking less about image quality differences and more about operational assurance.
And the first, and honestly the most dramatic, non-image quality difference is battery life. This is where the R8 makes a severe compromise to achieve its compact, light body.
So what's the difference?
The R6 Mark II uses the standard professional battery, the LPE6NH. It achieves an excellent CPA-rated 580 shots per charge.
And the R8?
The R8 uses the much smaller, lower-capacity LPE17 battery. It manages only 290 shots per charge.
Wow, 290, that's exactly half.
Exactly half the endurance.
That half capacity is a major operational liability. If you're a travel photographer spending a long day walking without reliable access to power, or a wedding photographer needing to capture a full 10-hour event, the R8 is forcing you into multiple critical battery changes.
It introduces unnecessary risk. If you're shooting a key moment at an event and your battery dies at shot 291, well, the moment is gone. For a professional, time spent changing batteries is time not spent shooting.
Now, they both support USB-C charging, right?
They do, which partially mitigates the limitation if you carry power banks. But you still need to budget for 3 to 4 spare R8 batteries just to match the operational endurance of 1 or 2 R6 Mark II batteries. The convenience and consistency of the R6 Mark II's battery is a huge time saver.
Okay, the second, and perhaps the most cited reliability factor, is storage redundancy. This is often the single biggest deal breaker for pros.
It is, without a doubt. The R6 Mark II includes dual card slots, specifically 2 SD card slots that both support high-speed UHS-2 standards.
And you can write to both at once.
You can. The setup allows you to write images simultaneously to both cards, providing instant, continuous backup protection. If one card fails, which is a catastrophic, rare event that does happen, you have an immediate full copy of all your work on the second card.
For wedding photographers, photojournalists, commercial shooters, anywhere, reshooting is impossible. Dual card slots are not an accessory. They are mandatory insurance, sometimes required by contract.
Correct. And the R8 offers only a single card slot.
A single point of failure.
It is. For a hobbyist shooting personal photos, that's an acceptable risk to save $1,400. But for a professional, that potential loss of an entire day's client work from one corrupted card. It's often enough to disqualify the camera immediately for primary paid work, regardless of its image quality. The functional cost of a single card slot is accepting the risk of catastrophic data loss.
Let's move on to video. Both are highly capable here. They offer identical 4K UHD resolution, impressive 180p high-speed video for slow motion, all with unlimited recording time.
They are phenomenal video bodies for general use. They both have microphone and headphone ports, Canon's lens breathing correction. They're versatile content creation tools. But the R6 Mark II takes a massive leap into professional post-production.
We mentioned raw video earlier. Can we detail the importance of that and the other color profiles?
Absolutely. So the R6 Mark II supports recording in high-fidelity formats like Canon Log3 or C-Log3 in 10-bit color, which the R8 does not.
And C-Log3 is that flat profile that gives you maximum dynamic range for color grading later.
Exactly. But More importantly, 10-bit color means the camera records over 1 billion possible colors.
A billion. And the R8?
The R8 is limited to 8-bit color, which records about 16.7 million colors.
1 billion versus 16 million. That is a staggering difference. Why does the audience need those extra colors?
It prevents banding. When you manipulate colors in post-production, say adjusting a sunset sky or grading subtle skin tones, the R8's limited 8-bit color space can break down. You'll see noticeable lines or bands in gradients.
Doesn't look smooth.
Right. The R6 Mark II's 10-bit and RAW formats provide the immense data required to push, pull, and precisely grade that footage without it ever losing visual integrity. If you are aiming for high production value video that needs advanced color correction, the R6 Mark II becomes indispensable.
There's also the practical issue of heat. Given the R8's smaller, lighter chassis, does that compact size introduce limitations on extended shooting that the R6 Mark II avoids?
That is a critical operational reality. The R8's smaller body has less metal and less surface area to dissipate heat. So while both offer unlimited recording time on paper, if you're shooting 4K at 60 frames per second continuously, the R8 is far more likely to overheat and shut down.
And the R6 Mark II?
The R6 Mark II's larger chassis and professional build include much better heat mitigation. It can sustain those high-demand recording settings for far longer, which is vital for long interviews or event coverage.
So we found the compromises needed to save $1,400. A smaller body, no IBIS, slower mechanical speed, vastly fewer AF points, half the battery, a single card slot, and no pro video color depth.
That's the list.
The R6 Mark II eliminates all of these for that price premium. So now let's connect those specs back to the listener's reality. Section 4 is about matching the camera to the creator. What does this all mean for the way you actually shoot?
We can map these differences to specific genres, starting with the most demanding, the action photographer, someone covering sports, fast pets, or wildlife.
And for this user, the R6 Mark II is the clear and undeniable winner, right?
Absolutely. It's not even a contest. Its suite of features is built specifically for consistency and high-stakes action.
The AF points.
The combination of 4,897 AF points ensures superior tracking tenacity. The 12 FP's mechanical shutter eliminates that rolling shutter risk and doubles your chance of capturing the peak moment. And the 8-stop IBIS is crucial when you are hand-holding long telephoto lenses in less than ideal light.
So the R8 just can't keep up.
It just lacks the specialized performance tools to reliably capture fast or erratic subjects with professional certainty.
Okay, what about the wedding or event professional, where failure is not an option?
Reliability is paramount, and here the R6 Mark II becomes essential. It moves from being a luxury to a requirement.
Because of the dual card slots.
The dual card slots are non-negotiable insurance against losing a client's data. The 580-shot battery is mandatory for long days, where changing batteries means you could miss a crucial moment. The R8's single slot and half-day battery life make it a serious risk as a primary camera for paid event work.
You can't charge a client thousands of dollars for a service that relies on a single $30 memory card.
You really can't.
But the R8 fights back hard in the area of portability, making it arguably perfect for the travel or street photographer.
For those genres, yes, the R8 holds a meaningful and often preferred advantage. That 219-gram lighter weight and the smaller, less conspicuous profile are huge benefits when you're carrying the camera all day, walking a city, or hiking a mountain path.
And the lack of IBIS isn't as big a deal there.
It's less of a concern. Street photography often uses zone focusing, fast primes, and reasonably fast shutter speeds. The R8 minimizes intrusion and maximizes comfort. It's about being nimble.
What about the serious landscape photographer? They're often working on a tripod anyway, which mitigates the IBS issue, and they demand dynamic range, which is identical in both cameras.
For landscape, either camera is highly capable. They share that 24-megapixel full-frame dynamic range, and both offer focus bracketing and in-camera focus stacking, which is great.
The R8 is lighter for the hike.
It is, which is a definite plus. However, the R6 Mark II offers superior reliability in two ways that are crucial to landscape shooters.
The dual slots again?
The dual slots, and more importantly, that anti-dust shutter mechanism. When you are changing lenses on a windy beach near a waterfall or in a dusty desert environment, that anti-dust shutter protects your sensor against the very conditions landscape shooters face most often. It can save you hours of spot removal in post.
And finally, the vlogger or content creator. They value convenience, but also high production value.
It's a real trade-off here. The R8's lightweight immediately appeals for handheld vlogging right out of the box. It's just easier to hold. But the R6 Mark II brings major advantages in finished production quality. Its built-in IBIS provides much smoother handheld video footage, potentially reducing the need for a cumbersome gimbal.
And the color.
And if the creator is aiming for high production value that needs cinematic color and superior grading, the R6 Mark II's 10-bit C-Log 3 capability is invaluable. Both have the articulating screens and audio ports, so the choice comes down to whether you value pure portability with the R8 or professional-grade smoothness and color with the R6 Mark II.
So we've established that the decision is purely functional, not pictorial. Now, in Section 5, let's discuss the long-term implications. This is the investment conversation. If we connect this to the bigger picture, how does this choice affect the longevity and total cost of ownership of your system?
The long-term implications are tied heavily to the RF lens ecosystem strategy. Both cameras obviously benefit from the large and growing selection of over 90 native RF lenses. But, as we mentioned, the R6 Mark II user has absolute freedom. Their investment in any lens, even unstabilized primes, is maximized because that 8-stop IBIS system is always there to back them up.
Whereas the R8 user faces a structural limitation.
Yes. The R8 user has to strategically prioritize the 37 stabilized RF lenses if they plan to shoot handheld in variable light. This potentially limits your creative choices or forces you into more expensive stabilized versions of lenses you might not otherwise choose.
So you save money on the body.
But you might spend it on the glass. For example, if you want a fast, affordable, but unstabilized prime, the R8 makes it a far less versatile option than it would be on the R6 Mark II. Saving $1,400 on the body might inadvertently force you to spend an extra $1,000 across 3 lenses just to get the stabilization you lost.
That significantly changes the total cost of ownership calculation.
It absolutely does. And then you have to look at resale value and depreciation. Professional bodies like the R6 Mark II typically retain their value better than enthusiast models like the R8.
Why is that?
The R6 Mark II just has more proprietary features. The IBIS, the dual slots, the better viewfinder that keep it desirable for a longer period. So while it costs more upfront, when you eventually upgrade, you recoup a higher percentage of that initial purchase price, partially offsetting the higher investment.
But the R8's counter-argument here is that its much lower initial cost means less capital risk overall. For a photographer who loves having the newest tech, the R8 lets them buy bodies more frequently, staying current with the latest autofocus and processing updates without that massive financial hit of a $2,500 camera depreciating.
That's a valid strategy for the tech enthusiast. It's a faster technology churn model. But when we look at the total cost of ownership, the TCO for the working professional, the costs shift dramatically.
How so?
The R6 Mark II has higher initial costs, the body needing 2 memory cards. But the R8, while cheaper, requires you to invest in more spare batteries, which adds up.
And the risk factor.
More critically, yes. The R8's single card slot introduces the risk of catastrophic data loss, and the expense that comes with professional liability insurance or the cost of trying to recover client data. If you are shooting a $3,000 wedding, the insurance provided by the R6 Mark II's dual slots is worth far more than the $1,400 price difference.
So the R8 offers a lower total cost for hobbyists.
But the R6 Mark II is justified as a necessary business investment, where the cost of an operational failure far outweighs that price premium.
To wrap up the long-term view, you mentioned a smart upgrade path strategy. How would a photographer who wants the R6 Mark II capabilities but doesn't have the budget today approach this?
The most strategic approach is to start with the accessible R8 as a glass acquisition platform.
I like that, a glass acquisition platform.
Exactly. Use that $1,400 you save to invest aggressively in the best RF lenses you can afford. The lenses are the permanent component of your system, not the body. This allows you to immediately begin building a versatile, valuable RF lens collection.
And then upgrade the body later.
Then, in 2 or 3 years, when your budget or professional needs truly demand it, you upgrade the body to an R6 Mark II, or its eventual successor, and you get to keep all of your valuable glass. The R8 is a phenomenal gateway body for building a future professional RF system.
That transitions the R8 from being merely a budget option to a strategic long-term financial investment in the overall system. I love that framing. We've covered the body, the performance, the reliability, and the long-term investment. Now let's summarize the 2 very clear paths Canon has laid out for you. You should choose the Canon R8 if your absolute priorities are budget, if saving that $1,400 is paramount, and portability. If you value that extremely light 461-gram weight, you shoot primarily static subjects in good light, and you can confidently accept the operational limitations of a single card slot, that 290-shot battery life, and the complete lack of IBIS.
It's the perfect camera for the dedicated enthusiast, the minimalist traveler, or the vlogger who prioritizes handheld ease and discretion.
Conversely, you must choose the Canon R6 Mark II if you require professional reliability. That means the dual card slots and the robust 500-shot battery life.
You have to choose the R6 Mark II if you shoot action sports, wildlife, fast subjects, and you need that combination of 4,897 AF points, the 12th of P is mechanical shutter, or the built-in 8-stop IBIS for handheld low-light work.
And for video.
And finally, if you shoot high-end professional video that requires maximum flexibility and color grading potential, the 10-bit C-Log 3 and RAW video make the R6 Mark II absolutely essential.
So we circle back to where we started, the shared sensor. You said it yourself, the image quality foundation is identical.
Exactly. Both cameras deliver identical, exceptional 24-megapixel full-frame image quality. The decision you are making is purely functional. It's capability and reliability versus portability and cost.
No right or wrong answer, just the right tool for the job.
That's it. If your work demands the R6 Mark II's operational certainty, it justifies every single dollar of its premium. If you prioritize saving money and carrying less weight, the R8 gives you that professional image quality, but with some very clear enthusiast-level compromises.
So here's a final thought for you to consider. If the R8 gives you a viable full-frame body for $1,400 less, how fundamentally does that savings change the quality and breadth of the lens system you can afford to build today? And how long will those lenses last you after the body is eventually replaced? Think about that long-term system investment as you make your decision.